My white brothers and sisters, you have to say to yourself, at this time in human history, how can we deconstruct racism, bigotry, injustice, you see? And then to my black brothers and sisters and my brown brothers and sisters and all of those who are oppressed, whether it's LGBTQ, or whether it's a black, or whether it's brown, whether it's Asian, who are carrying the scar tissues of internment in this country, whether it's the Mexicans who have felt the sting of number 45s lashing out and saying they were criminals and murderers and rapists and we got to keep them out of the country, or whether it's African American people, we have to go in and get rid of our scar tissue. We have to do the deep inner work. We have to ask the questions, how can we heal ourselves? How can we heal ourselves so well from the generational pain and oppression that has happened to us and come out of seeing ourselves as a victim? Begin to do our work so well without any spiritual bypass, mind you, so that we come to an awareness that we are the light that lights up every man and woman that comes into the world, that our history did not start with slavery. Our history goes way back to Africa, and our history goes way beyond Africa into this sublime realm of infinite potential where there's no time and space. We have to do the work so well that though individuals may have been victimized, we are not a victim. Because if that work is not done, you will evoke the law of victimization. You will call yourself a victim. You won't do your inner work and heal yourself, and then you will continue to bring experiences into your life that says, yes, you're a victim. Now, as the reading went today, there's always going to be challenges. There'll be racism. There'll be stuff thrown against you. They'll be talking about you. They'll say all kinds of things, but at a certain point, you'll get to a point, if you do the work, you won't even be offended by it because they're not talking about you. They're talking about themselves. They're talking about their limited perception. They're talking about where they're blind. They're talking about their blind spots. They're talking about their own hurt. They're talking about their own fear of the other. You see, you come to an awareness. It has nothing to do with you, but you can't get there unless you do the inner work and stop calling yourself a victim. You are a child of God, you see. And so my conversation to my white brothers and sisters, talk among yourselves. Talk about white privilege. Admit it. Talk about how you're going to help deconstruct this. And it doesn't have to be big and monumental. Some of you are on the streets. And you know what? You're not on the street as allies. Forget that. We're all in this together. Because if there's a scourge of racism in our country, it affects everybody. It's not, oh, you're helping black people. Cut it out. Those days are over. We're all in this together, you see. Everybody on the street building, world weaving a kind and just global society. So you might be those that are on the street protesting. You might be those that are writing your congressperson, your senators, your councilmen, writing letters to number 45, talking about how atrocious it was to even threaten to bring military to attack its own citizens. Whatever your role is, you got to figure it out. And you got to take the step. This is not the time to be afraid. This is not the time to live in your silo of the limited perception. That doesn't concern me. I don't know what they're talking about. What do you mean racism? You had Obama. Please. Stop the dumb stuff. Have the conversation, you see. Have the conversation. And my brothers and sisters, talking about color, melanin, stop identifying yourself as a victim. This community is dedicated to spiritual transformation, and there are other communities as well. They get you into deep practice of meditation and prayer, soul searching, soul retrieval, healing, eliminating scar tissue, transmuting the lies that we have inherited about being inferior, the lies that we've inherited that we're not enough, the lies that have created tributaries from that we were labeled 3/5 of a human written into the Constitution, the injustice, the ways people look at you when you walk into a room and you're the only one there. All of that, of how an African-American boy is 7 years old. Psychologists tell us they have developed a psychological antibodies of the racism that they've already felt at the time they're 7 years old because of how people look at them and talk about them or become quiet when they walk into a room. But that's not our issue. Our issue is, are we willing to heal it? Are we willing to just use it as an excuse to not be healthy, not be successful, to make poor choices with our nutrition, poor choices with our exercise? We have to do that work, you see. And then